You're an adult. The dark can't hurt you. There's nothing under the bed. The sound you just heard was probably the house settling. And yet, your heart is going. Your eyes are scanning. You are not moving until you find that light switch. Here's what nobody tells you. That reaction isn't embarrassing. It isn't childish. And it is definitely not random. Because what's happening in your brain when the lights go out is one of the most fascinating things psychology has ever looked at. And it says something really profound about who you are. Today we're going to get into all of it. Fear of the dark. Most people assume it's just something kids deal with and then grow out of. You turn a certain age, you stop sleeping with the hall light on, and that's that. But research tells a completely different story. Studies suggest that up to 11% of adults still experience genuine fear of the dark. Not just mild discomfort, real physiological fear. And psychologists now believe the way you respond to darkness reveals deep things about how your nervous system was built. Things that have nothing to do with age and everything to do with how your brain learned to survive. And in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what is happening inside the brain of someone who is afraid of the dark, why it runs so much deeper than most people think, and what it actually says about you as a person. We're gonna go through 5 things, and the last one might completely change the way you see this fear. Here's something I want you to try right now. Close your eyes for just a second. Actually do it. And just notice what happens in your body. Something shifts, doesn't it? There's a slight uptick, a little more alertness, even in complete safety. That's not your imagination. That's your amygdala. It's a small almond-shaped part of your brain, and its entire job is to scan for danger. Every day, it is asking one question: are we safe right now? And here's the thing, it does most of that job visually. Around 80% of the information your brain uses to assess safety comes through your eyes. When you can see, your amygdala has data. It can look around, process the room, decide you're fine, and stand down. But when the lights go off, that data stream cuts out, and your amygdala doesn't stand down. It does the opposite. It goes on high alert. It starts firing stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, and your whole nervous system shifts into this state of readiness. Heart rate up, breathing changes, muscles tighten. You become hyper-aware of every sound. Research published in the journal Sleep found that people who reported fear of the dark showed significantly elevated physiological arousal responses, meaning their bodies were genuinely treating darkness the same way they treat a real threat. So that pounding in your chest when the lights go out, that's not a personality flaw. That's your alarm system doing exactly what it was designed to do. The payout is this: you are not irrationally afraid of nothing. You are responding to a genuine loss of sensory information, and your brain is filling that gap with threat signals, because that is how it was built to protect you. But here's what makes this even more interesting. This isn't just about your personal nervous system. This fear might be the oldest thing inside you. Picture what life looked like for your ancestors, not your grandparents. Go way further back, tens of thousands of years back. It's night. There is no electricity, no streetlights, no phone screen, just complete darkness. And in that darkness were real things that could kill you. Predators that hunted at night, strangers from other groups, terrain you couldn't see. Darkness was genuinely, objectively dangerous. The people who survived, the ones who became your ancestors, were the ones who treated the dark with caution. The ones who felt that pull of fear, who stayed close to the fire, who didn't wander off alone into the night. That wasn't weakness, that was intelligence. And here's the wild part. That wiring didn't go away just because you built a house and invented light bulbs. Psychologists call this a fear humans are biologically predisposed to develop because it had survival value for so long. Research from evolutionary psychology shows that humans acquire fears related to darkness much faster and much more easily than fears about things that are actually more dangerous in the modern world, like cars or electrical outlets. Think about that. Your brain finds it easier to be afraid of the dark than it does to be afraid of a car going 60 miles an hour. Because for 99% of human history, cars didn't exist. Darkness did. So when the fear hits you at night, you're not being irrational. You're carrying something incredibly old inside you. Something that kept your entire bloodline alive long enough to produce you. But here's something that might actually surprise you. Psychologists have found that for most people, this isn't actually about the dark at all. When researchers look closely at what people are actually afraid of when they're afraid of the dark, they find something interesting. The fear isn't really about the absence of light, it's about what might be in it. There's a concept called the fear of the unknown, and it is one of the most fundamental human anxieties. The dark is the perfect container for it, because in the dark, anything could be there. Your brain can't confirm what's real and what isn't, and in that uncertainty, it starts generating possibilities. Dr. Michael Davis, a neuroscientist at Emory University, has spent decades studying the difference between fear and anxiety. Fear is a response to a specific known threat. Anxiety is a response to uncertainty, to the possibility of threat. And darkness, he found, reliably triggers the anxiety response rather than the fear response. That's a really important distinction, because it means your body is responding not to something that's there, but to everything that might be there. Every unresolved worst case scenario your brain can imagine gets projected into that dark space. And here's the cruel part: the more imaginative you are, the worse this gets. People with rich inner lives, people who think deeply, people who feel things intensely, they tend to populate that darkness with more vivid scenarios. Their brains are doing more with the same empty room. The fear of the dark isn't really about the dark, it's about your relationship with uncertainty. And that shows up in every other part of your life too. And if you want to understand why some people carry this fear much more strongly than others, you have to go back, way back. When you are a child, your brain is building its model of the world. It's asking, is this a safe place? Can I trust what's around me? What happens when I can't see? For some kids, the dark was paired with safety. A parent checked in, a nightlight glowed, someone came when they called. Their nervous system learned, darkness is okay. I'm protected even when I can't see. For other kids, the dark meant something different. Maybe they were left alone when they were scared. Maybe unpredictable things happened at night. Maybe no one came. Maybe the darkness became associated, over and over, with helplessness and not being safe. And that association doesn't just disappear when you grow up. It gets encoded. Your nervous system carried it forward. Research on adverse childhood experiences shows that early environments of unpredictability, homes where things felt unsafe or chaotic, significantly increase the likelihood of anxiety-based fears persisting into adulthood. And fear of the dark is one of the most common ones that stays. There's also something called conditioning. If something frightening happened to you at night, or even if you just watched enough scary movies at an impressionable age, your brain can build an automatic association between darkness and danger that it keeps reinforcing every time you feel that fear. So if you're someone who still feels this, and part of you has always been a little embarrassed by it, understand that it isn't a character flaw. It's your history. It's your nervous system doing what it learned to do in order to keep you safe. And that took a version of you who went through something and adapted. So we've talked about the alarm system, the ancient wiring, the uncertainty, the childhood patterns. But here's the one that I really want you to sit with, because nobody talks about this. People who are afraid of the dark tend to share a very specific psychological profile. And when you look at the research, what comes up over and over again is this: they are often the most emotionally sensitive, most perceptive, most empathetic people in any room. A study from Stony Brook University looked at people with high sensory processing sensitivity, this heightened awareness that some people carry, and found that they were significantly more likely to report fear of the dark, not because they were weaker, but because their nervous systems were processing more, taking in more, feeling more. Think about it. The same brain that hears every sound in a dark room, that generates vivid scenarios, that stays alert when everyone else has drifted off, that is the same brain that reads a room full of people and immediately knows who's struggling, that notices the small things, that feels things deeply, that cares. Your sensitivity to the dark, and your sensitivity to people, and your sensitivity to the world are not separate things. They are the same thing wearing different faces. The fear is the price of the perception, and the perception is one of the most valuable things a person can have. So yes, You might still reach for the light switch. You might still sleep better with something glowing somewhere, and that's okay. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're not less than. You're just someone whose nervous system notices everything. And in a world that moves as fast as ours does, in a world this complicated, this noisy, this much, that matters more than people realize. So let's come back to where we started. You're an adult. The dark can't hurt you. And yet something happens when the lights go off. Now you know why. Your amygdala loses its data stream and goes on high alert. You're carrying evolutionary wiring that kept your bloodline alive for tens of thousands of years. Your fear was never really about the dark. It was about uncertainty and everything your brain fills that space with. Your nervous system was shaped by experiences that taught it what was safe and what wasn't. And the very sensitivity that makes you afraid of the dark is the same one that makes you remarkably good at being human. None of that is weakness. All of it makes sense. If this hit home for you, please subscribe. I would genuinely appreciate it.